reshuffled the pack from a team that beat Makese in midweek with only 4 survivors from that game, that being Jaden Adams, Devine Lunga, Grant Kekana, and Ronwen Williams, who starts his starts a record 500th match for Mamelodi Sundowns this afternoon. And well, into the starting lineup come Tashrik Matthews, Marcelo Allende, Keanu Cupido, Tebo Mukwena, Atur Salus, and Ikram Reyners leads the line, the free scoring Ikram Reyners. What about the Buccaneers? Just the one change from midweek victory as well, their first of the season. Patrick Maswanganyi comes in to the starting lineup, and the omission, or the player that misses out, is Dino van Rooyen, who got injured. That means the man of the moment, Kamohelo Sibilibele, will continue down the right-hand side of defense, a position he has played with aplomb in his days at TS Galaxy. Abdeslam Wadu, well, we wonder, has he now finally settled on what he believes is his best combination? There were some eyebrows raised for his selection in their opening fixture of the season, but there's been a more familiar look about the Pirates lineup in their last 2 matches. Let's get Tino Komodiso to show you about the approach given all the changes from Mamelodi Sundowns.
I mean, when you look at all the changes that Coach Cardoso made midweek, with 10 changes, only Williams surviving, all the players that are back. I think with Lunga coming back from a man of the match performance against Makese, he'll be very, very important in that defensive role. And also Ayende and Mukwena and Adams slotting in where Tembezwani was playing. He'll be expected to get into those numbers, supporting Reyners and supporting Matthews as well, who are willing runners. And I think also Silas becomes such an important player in that Ribeiro role. And for Orlando Pirates, rather, I think those 2 young centre-backs, I think those are the talking point. Very stable, very defensively minded, and they very help the team. And Sibilibele being the man that is deployed on the right fullbacks, you'll be giving him so much leeway to go forward. You expect him, Mufokeng and Apulis, to come in and to make those 2-10s with Maswanganyi to find ways in those opening spaces where Makgopa will be creating.
There you go, then Ronwen Williams, a big occasion for the Mamelodi Sundowns skipper. And this referee this afternoon, Eugene Mdluli, assisted by Kamusi Rasmisani, and the very experienced Zaki Leswela, runs the line on the far side. We've become accustomed to seeing him on the near side, but he will be on the far side. And our 4th official, Moreki Likwape, and the match commissioner, Robert Sitole, who hails from not too far from here in Soshanguve. Okay, it is pretty far from here, but you know what I mean. All right, stage is set. The players are ready for the thousands in attendance, the millions watching on television. I'll pause it right there before I get sued for infringement of copyright. All set to for Mr. Eugene Mdluli's orders, and we will get underway. What a glorious occasion this is. A strong wind that is blowing out there. That's the only drawback in terms of conditions. Here we go. MTN 8 semi-final, second leg. Mamelodi Sundowns get us underway, attacking the goals to the left. Of course, they are, and the Pirates are in their all-black strip, going in the opposite direction. It's all squared, 1-1. Which means that Mamelodi Sundowns hold the advantage of the away goals rule. So, Tegumodisa, what is the approach then? If you're Wadu, he spoke about that they realize that they're going to need to try and get a quick goal, which will give them a lead here, and will also cancel out this away goal they conceded.
I guess you can see as well as the lineup that he put on with Apulis and Mufokeng and Maswanganyi. That means he wants to go all out and try and attack and get that early goal to be able to cancel that. But yet again, defensively, he's going to be asked questions because Mamelodi Sundowns are playing at home, which is this incident as well. You can see that Reyners will forever play on the shoulders of those 2 young men, Siema and Mbogas. So they need to be very, very careful. With Salas cutting in, that then frees Hoto, but then Mbunyana on the right-hand side needs to be very careful, and you know that Hoto is coming.
Mamelodi Sundowns, of course, still without one of their key players down the right-hand side here. That is Saila Mudaf. And of course, as we know, that there is that ongoing saga with Lucas Rivero Costa, a man who has caused problems in the past against the Orlando Pirates. But that really shouldn't be an issue. There's no shortage of depth in numbers and in quality in this Mamelodi Sundowns side, as Lunga couldn't keep it in play. Well, here's a man that the coach, Miguel Cardoso, has shown he trusts, and he's shown himself to be adept. I mean, this is a Zimbabwe international. If we remind ourselves that the big occasions, he can handle.
He can handle because he's defensively solid compared to all the other midfield, all the other left foot backs right now.
Well, let's have a look here, because Sundowns struggling to clear their lines. Relemo Fokeng gets onto it, clips the ball into the box. Onto! Oh, that wasn't. Well, the flag did go up eventually on the near side for an offside against Dion Otto.
You can see that with Mamelodi Sundowns, we are able to clear those lines, and with Relo on the ball, you never know what he wants to do. And he does have that pass and that combination as well that he has. And here, Hoto, I think the linesman missed that one because he was on an offside line. But you need to be able to defend. You need to play according to the whistle. And those are early signs that Orlando Pirates are showing that they really want to go out wide with Hoto, knowing that as well at the Orlando Stadium, he was also one of the players as well that caused problems.
Islam, why do the Orlando Pirates coach spoke about the need to get that quick goal early on, but also emphasize the importance of maintaining that rest defense and being disciplined about it. And as for Cardoso, Tico said in my pre-match interview with him, he spoke, the key word in that interview was control. Control, control. How is that reflected in the way they've lined up on them?
With all the midfielders that they had, you really want to have composure on the ball, be able to dictate the tempo of the game. That's how you control as to then how Orlando Pirates approach the game or how Orlando Pirates attack. And that's something that eluded them when they played Orlando. They couldn't control the game so much. But yet today, you want them to be in control to create as much opportunities, but you need to be able to create those opportunities while playing organized football in organized positions. And that's what Mamelodi Sundowns bring.
17th semi-final appearance in the PSL era for Mamelodi Sundowns, and for Orlando Pirates, it's their 15th MTN 8 semi-final and their 4th in a row. It's a 5th in a row for Mamelodi Sundowns. Sundowns are 4-time winners of this competition, having won it since they lifted the trophy in behind closed doors under lockdown conditions back in 2020.
It's a long time.
It's a long time.
That shows you as well that there are slow starters within the season. And I decided to realize that there's something that Orlando Pirates does when it comes to this competition. Sometimes it's big fun because they're very good in cup competition. They know how to win cup competitions. And today, it is not one of those games that they need to prove that they do have depth and quality, but also ego as well to cancel Orlando Pirates.
7th time they're facing Mamelodi Sundowns in MTN 8 semi-final. Orlando Pirates, and they've advanced on 4 occasions in the unbeaten versus Mamelodi Sundowns in the last 6 MTN 8 meetings between the two sides. 2 wins and 4 draws, as Sehle Nduli is a man that's gone down there. It hasn't taken him long to settle down in that defense. You'd almost say that Pirates aren't even missing Makahleni Makaulu.
Yeah, I mean, he is Nduli, the type of a player, and even when he was announced at the signing, that we knew that that's exactly what he's going to bring to the team.
Relemo gets in behind the defender there, Keanu Kupiro. They're going to have their work cut out, keeping him quiet. Relemo Fokeng, Jaden Adams goes down under a challenge, and the referee plays on. Maybe playing an advantage initially. Oh, he didn't see it from now. Semelemene, the man of the moment, back-to-back goals in back-to-back matches, and of course also back-to-back man of the match awards. And now he's drawn a foul here, and it's a free kick early on in a very dangerous position. This is Dion Hotto range. This is Oswin Apollos range. Who knows, Talent Mbata might want a little bit of a say in the matter as well. That's a foul. He actually was a rugby tackle.
Yeah, and that's what the referee missed, and then went on to this attack where the referee called for a foul after Semelemene played that ball that wanted to play actually to Masanganyi, and then you can see that with the Mamelodi Sundowns. They're furious with that regard. And I think also within this game as well, it's going to require the referee to be strong, going to require the referee to be very, very sober-minded in terms of decision making, because he will be tested by the players, he will be tested by the fans.
Well, that ankle tap on Jaden Adams would have been welcomed out at Loftus, where you would have expected a big game like this to have gone, but there's issues with the branding there, which of course clashes with the sponsors of this particular tournament, MTN. That's why they've opted for the alternative venue here at Lucas Masterpieces Morite, the heart of Altridgeville. Allende there, the draft excluder, and lying on the beach now. Is it Hotto or is it both again? Can they pull out the bag? It's a glorious opportunity here for Orlando Pirates to strike an early blow. It's going to be Hotto into the wall. The wall does its job. Disappointing from a Pirates' point of view. It's nice ball over the top for Mapupa, who is straight offside.
I'm sure with that set piece, Orlando Pirates would have thought that there's an opportunity for them to, get that goal that they require so much, and I'm sure Hotto will be very disappointed to be able to hit that wall, because once you have Orlando Pirates players on the wall, those are the players that you want to use, you want to hit where they are, because you know that they'll probably be ducking and making sure that maybe they distract Williams at the back, but it's unfortunate for Hotto to hit the wall.
15 times in the past that these two sides have met in this competition in its various guises, and they've got 4 wins apiece with 7 matches drawn. As you look at that free kick again, that goes into the wall. Divine Lunga. Adams goes back to Grant Kekana. Both sets of defenses, they got new combinations, relatively new combinations of players that have played together with any great regularity on both sides.
On both sides, but I can also say with Cupido as well, with the FIFA Club World Cup, he had an understanding tournament, and with him and Grant there was that much of understanding, but also Lunga as well had a great tournament, but just that it's unfortunate that Sailor has not even played, but he had also one of those great tournaments at the right fullback, but it gives an opportunity as well to Mbunyelo. But the 2 youngsters from Orlando Pirates, that's where the future is. Siema just slotted in, like Sibisi is not even there anymore, so you don't even see the problem. But I also say, have they been tested? No, they haven't, but because you defend so well that you don't need to be tested. And I guess also, playing this type of a game, Siema will grow a little bit quicker.
Look how high up Ronan Williams has come. Oh, that's not a best piece of distribution. Gets away with it. Adams over the top here for Reyners, who's offside. Zakele Suela on the far side. That is a flag up.
This is where the game is going to be for Reyners, playing on those shoulders of the 2 young men to make those runs. And with Mamelodi Sundowns, you want to play those balls. You forever want to, spray those passes, especially with a willing runner that is Reyners.
They are some of the squad members of the Orlando Pirates side, and between these 2 squads, they probably have 20% of the capacity of Lucas Morite. That's how big these squads are. Perhaps not so big in numbers, there's certainly so much quality. Both sides. Reyners gives chase, but it's going to run away from him. It was on his own anyway. He was going to have to go on his own. He'd run away from his support. Divine Lunga starting his 4th match of the season. Retaining his place, having started the match in midweek, because the notable omission in front of the starting lineup is the PSL's joint top goal scorer, record top scorer, all time, that is. I'm talking, of course, about a man who henceforth I think it would be okay and acceptable to refer to as the great Peter Shalulile. He has now joined the great Siabo Mapele Nomvete as the league's top all-time scorers. So often you see anything fancy from him. Keeps it very simple, works hard, keeps defenders honest. The flags up for offside. These are tight calls, I tell you, but that's correct call on that occasion.
Yes, so there's going to be tight calls, and assistant referees are going to be on their toes, because that's the game. You can see with the Mamelodi Sundowns trying to play that highline as often as enough, because then you do have those speedy players from Mamelodi Pirates that you can't really race with them, so you need to put them in an offside tree.
Kayende finds Tashrik Matthews. Sebelebele being tested defensively for the first time. It's taken out and the ball in from. It's blocked by Sihle Nduli. Good cover from Sihle Nduli after Sebelebele had been skinned there.
I guess that's always been going to be the question, because Sebelebele will know him to be a player that play hard at the pitch. Whenever he's going to be required to do defensive duties, he's going to be very careful, but he is a very dangerous player. So for Matthews, you want to keep Sebelebele there, because you don't want him to be able to attack. So you need to take him on 1v1 situation. But also, Matthews is not a player that is a dribbling 1v1. He's very good in those type of places, but you need to make him work. You need to make Sebelebele work if you actually try to minus the threat that Mamelodi has.
Superb chain goes long. Super Chain was the hero, of course, of an MTN 8 final against the Pirates a couple of seasons back, making some great stops in the penalty shootout. It's Dion Harto, 34 years old, turns 35 in October. It's showing no signs of slowing down. Great Namibian international.
I would swear he's 27.
It's incredible. Now look at this foot race. Bogazi cleverly just gets himself between man and ball. It was too long anyway. Pass there from Charles. Couldn't find the pass. Jaden Adams. Goal kick. The 7 previous meetings in the MTN 8 semis between these two sides. Sundowns have only managed 2 wins. Look at that. Magnificent sights here at the Lucas Masterpiece Maripa Stadium, where we know the tickets have all been sold out. Not every seat has been taken, but there are still people trickling into the stadium after some late Saturday shopping. That's the figure. I tell you, I reckon we could have sold this game out 3 times over, even at Loftus. Over the years, these two sides have produced many great battles. Piñera operating the right wing back position normally. Of course, you would see Kuleso Mudau operating. Still not training with the club at the moment. We'll see whether we can drag something out of Teko Modise in terms of what's going on there. I suspect he has been sworn to secrecy. He has signed a non-disclosure agreement many years ago with Mamelodi Sundowns.
You're going to put Finch on.
Boom! Twageta.
I guess this does give Diane a chance, but of course he's a different type of a player than Kuleso Mudau, because Kuleso Mudau is very attacking-minded, very defensively solid, and you want the young man to be able to learn. Yes, Peter Shalili is scoring that midweek goal, equaling Siabang and Mvete. I'm sure he comes into this game with a little bit of confidence as well, because as a striker you want to play with confidence.
What a striker to be able to bring off the bench. Nicely done here by Reina's support there from Inde. Great block from Nduli, but he can't keep it out. Reina's makes the breakthrough. Massive goal. Massive goal. And that puts Sundowns in the lead on aggregate. And now it means Pirates must score twice. 1-1. By the way, this afternoon's only scoreline where the game would go into penalty shootout. Now, unfortunately, this may have come at a cost. Rangers has stayed down after converting there. Not a good sight at all. As he stayed down.
Yeah, it is not a good sign indeed, especially from a player that is on song, scoring goals for Mamelodi Sundowns, getting this important goal. But we spoke about Saleh's importance. Look at the pass that he brings. Finds Rangers in between the two defenders. Unselfishly lays the ball to Allende. Of course, Yema tackles that. Maybe a little bit of communication between the two. Maybe China would have saved that ball. But look at Allende. Having that shot, Siema saving it. It falls nicely there for Rangers, able to slow that on with the left foot.
It's a big breakthrough then. It hasn't taken long. But Sundowns, yeah, he was caught as he just got the pass well, he passed the ball into the net.
Yeah, he did. Because of that deflection that actually, a clearance from Siema. That's falls nicely there for Rangers to slot it in with his left. This is the lead that Mamelodi Sundowns wanted. Now you're expecting Mamelodi Sundowns to control a little bit of a tempo now. Of course, now Alana Pies to get back into the back and chase that equalizer.
This is where the control now, I guess that Miguel Cardoso spoke about in his pre-match interview, comes in. He said they don't want to obsess about what the opponent is doing. They've got to stick to their task and remain disciplined. Sundowns looking to make a 6th cup final appearance in 3 seasons. Now what for Wadu? Last in the first leg, they produced a very good second-half performance under Paris to get themselves back into the tie. Yes, Rangers running freely again. A goal scorer, Bagazi for company. Hotdog joins in, and then Sundowns get watch that. I like that. There's a little bit of chirping there.
I love that.
Cool.
I love that.
And what you must.
And also, like this fixture, so it's we know that when we're watching this, we're potentially watching the national team, because this is the core players that will be able to represent the country. So we're expecting high performance. Top players should be able to rise to the top.
With all due respect to other supporters of other teams that are watching here, suggesting this is where the national team comes from. These two sides. It's not a lie.
But it's there. But also because of the fixture itself, what it means to South African football, I think it's a pinnacle. I think it's a true identity to the way South African football is. And these are two teams as well that represented the country in the continental space. They played in the semi-final, so these are very two best teams in the country. So you, of course, as a national team coach, those are the players that you'll be looking at, and you want the top players in big games to be able to show, because that separates you from being good to greatness.
Artur Saleh is the man who won that free kick. What a season, what a start he's made to this season. He seems determined that Mamelodi Sundowns should not miss their other Brazilian.
But I guess also because he came in as assigned as a striker, so there was a lot of confusion as to then what type of role he would play. But then with the Ribero's absence, I think he masters that role. He gets into that. You can see that he's really enjoying playing that role.
Let's have a look at what Dewo Mokoena can pull out from the collection box of beautiful set-piece goals. What did you make of? What was the idea there?
I think he just wanted maybe to just go over the wall, where knowing that the goalkeeper possibly is covering the far post, but the angle itself didn't allow him to have full power in it, so it forces him now to kill the ball more, so that loses more power. But we know that Debs are within those ranges. We've seen him scoring goals.
The wind, of course, will be a factor here this afternoon. There's a very strong wind that's blowing. It's one of those typical August afternoons on the Highveld. When you were down there, what did you make of it in terms of the way the wind is moving? Would it be in Sundowns back in the first half?
It just, as things stands, when we were down there, I think it supports we Orlando Pirates are going to score. And with Mamelodi Sundowns being a team that really doesn't rely much on long balls, but I think it will suit Orlando Pirates very well, especially with those diagonal balls from you guys.
So referee's going to bring it back here for the earlier foul. He tried to play an advantage that Mr. Mdluli. Skulebele is the player. Late challenge there from Tebo Mokoena.
I guess this is going to be the game. If the referee doesn't control, we're not saying the referee, we're not encouraging the referee to use those yellow cards. You want to control the game, you let the game flow a little bit, but also making sure that the players as well, you know that where the emotions are from the player's point of view, because it is an important game. But yet again, you want to see fair play, you want to see, you know, proper football being played by both teams.
Two teams that have produced proper football over the years. So many great players that have come through these two sides and have featured in this competition, as you saw in our pre-match build-up. Pay tribute to the likes of Juju Mbuyani, former teammate of yours, Tigo. What do you say?
Yeah, Juju. He was our main target man, meant to go to when he won goals. And he was one of those players that really doesn't train well, but when it comes to game, big temperament, he's your guy to go to. You trust him to get goals.
Bit clever, Mamelodi. Train for who? A big player.
A big player, straight.
Played many times against his hometown club, did Tulasizo Mboyani, fit pain. Now, here is Talent Dembat. Zebelewe asking too much of Maswangangi there, who thought about chasing it and ended up. Save my energy. It's a long way to go yet in this game. If you've just joined us, Mamelodi Sundowns lead, courtesy of an Ikram Reyners goal, his fourth of the season.
And I can just imagine from a stability point of view, where you come from TS Galaxy, you come to Orlando Pirates team, all of a sudden you're an informed player, everybody speaks about you, then you come into this huge game. You can just imagine the pressure that plays into your mind, is so then you want to also have like that perfect game. I just hope that with all the senior players that Orlando Pirates will be able to calm him down, because he's expected to cause problems for Sundowns.
The call has gone against Reyners here. This is going to be a very interesting battle to watch. Mbagazi and Reyners. You could see them giving each other a bit of lip as well earlier, and now they got in a bit of a tangle, and Mbagazi came second best, but he gets the free kick. And he stayed down, which is not a good thing. It's a worry. They've got the more experienced Tabelo Toki. Should he be required? Look at Mahupa, they're doing.
I think it's the falling there. Because you can see that there was a tussle when they were fighting for the ball, but because now the ball bounced behind, that forced them to turn.
He climbed on the back of him there. Nothing deliberate. I think just momentum carried Reyners on to Mbagazi. And the Ganda is still down.
I think it's more on the landing. I think he hits his head on the ground. And a player that is such an importance in Orlando Pirates lineup, you don't want to lose him, especially in such a big game.
Well, I suspect this one you will have to drag him off the field. You will soldier on. All right, of course, goals count in this competition. And look at the top scorers over the years. And Reyners now up to 5. There's Peter Shadwelele on 4 when he does, if and when he does come on. That record will be on the line. Of course, you see Bradley Robla is another player who could very well catch Bele Nomvete.
Yep. Seemingly found his form, and Kukunu plays really well. the way that he plays, you forget about the age that he has, but just the quality, such a box player, such a top striker that wants to score goals. As a midfielder, I would love to play with such a striker, knowing that he just wants to position himself to be able to score. He doesn't want to do too much and helping the team to, to organize play. And those are the type of strikers that you want, especially now gives more time and creativity, responsibility to their midfielders.
Conserve energies. Stay in the box, or in the kitchen, as Mark Williams would put it. Talent Dempata, Bilibili is on a run. Well read by the Mamelodi Sundowns captain Ronwen Williams. Another foul. Yeah, the foul count is climbing all the time here.
It is an emotional game. Nobody wants to lose. And you want to put a little bit of aggression, not to allow other players to gain that momentum. And you can see both teams, whenever they're not on the ball, they do that. They want to be aggressive on the ball. And that's what you need. These are top teams competing for that order. So that's what he gets.
Cardoso's implored his players to control their actions, control emotions. Don't play the occasion, play the game. It's a cliche, but it's an important one to constantly remind players. Sometimes you get absorbed in the big occasion. You try to do too much, try to do things that you're not used to doing.
Of course you do at times, but these are two teams that have been exposed to big games before, and they're expected to show the professionalism and get the result regardless of the permutation. You want to get into the pitch and fancy yourself a win.
Good work, Ntungelo, Cupido. Adams wanted Tashik Matthews to run onto it. Salidoui slips a pass through there to Apollos. I haven't seen too much of Apollos in this game. Sundowns have defended this very well, and they get a free kick. Excellent work.
Excellent work indeed from Lunga, be able to draw a foul there under pressure against Apollos. And I think the reason is why you wouldn't see Apollos maybe hogging the line as much is because you have Semifinals2 that wants to get into those positions. So it forces now Apollos to get more inside the pitch to have those combination play. But yeah, a great run from him, good recovery there from Debs as well. But yes, again, fighting spirit as well from Apollos to try and counter press and win the ball high.
Foul on Divine Lunga. Very, very clever defensive work there from the Zimbabwean international. Ozuna Apollos making his 5th appearance. 1 goal for him in Pirates colours. Pressing here from Sundowns. Pata brings it down. It's collected by Maswangai. Begin to switch it up there to the left-hand side where Hotto's got space and time. Rele Mofoke. Sihle Ndoi. Of course, his former club still is in action in the second semi-final a little later on. As Stelis take on Kukone with a 2-0 advantage. Rele Mofoke. Pirates starting to ask some questions here. Starting on Rele Mofoke, away by Adams. Atur Sales. Maswangangi. Gathered by the Sundowns keeper. Mbogas. Crucial touch on that one, but it was that Cupido needed to get something onto it. So, the man was gone there. Swangangi. It's been a talisman for Orlando Pirates since joining them from Supersport United. Semifinals2, who hasn't taken long to endear himself to the Buccaneer faithful. with his recent performances. In terms of their lineups, Ronan Williams, I think, sorry, Jaden Adams is the only player who didn't feature in the first leg from a Sundowns point of view. And for Pirates, it's a Polis that's missed that first leg. Didn't feature in the first leg, also in a Polis. Foul on Livone Siema. There they are. Check them out on various news sites and news publications. A man, by the way, below the Kaizer Chiefs coach there, Nasreddin Nabi, back in the country. Good to see him back. I trust that means that his missus is well on the mend, which is good to see. And the man below him there goes by the name Zama. He's the groundsman here at Lucas Moripe, and I've got to give him props, because I think he's done an excellent job here. I think of the pitches around the country really battling. The groundsmen are battling to get these playing surfaces right. The man with the folded arms with a white cap in the middle of your picture, that is the groundsman here at Lucas Moripe.
He's going to be so happy.
Listen, I asked him, so listen, how's it coming along? How do I know he won the event? Now I end. Good work there. Well, Sundowns have slowed down the tempo of the game a little bit here now, which is just the way they want it. They're controlling things now.
Yeah, they did, but also you want to slow down the tempo a little bit with much control on the ball, and they're able to do that. They're rushing at times, giving away the ball, not forcing them to defend a little more. So you want them to be more calm, you want Alende to be more calm, Jaden as well to be more on the ball. Just slow down the tempo a little bit, force a lot of players to come out of those blocks, those defensive blocks, and still be able to create those scoring opportunities.
1-0 and 2-1 on aggregate to Mamelodi Sundowns. Pirates equalizer would make it 2-all on aggregate, and if it stays that way, we would then go straight to a penalty shootout. But 1-all is the only scoreline this afternoon that can lead to penalty shootout. No extra time, of course, in a second leg of a double-legged semi-final, because that would certainly no away goals would apply. That would give, I suppose, an advantage to the away side to get a second bite at getting an away goal if you allowed that in extra time. It's additional time that the other team would not have had in the first leg. 10 minutes to go to the break, coach. Mamelodi Sundowns here looking to score a win over Orlando Pirates. Their last win in the MTN 8 against Orlando Pirates was in the 2007-2008 final. A 1-0 victory it was for Sundowns then. But the last 6 MTN 8 meetings between the sides here, Pirates are unbeaten and won 2 and drawn 4. Remember them famously winning a second leg as well. Orlando Pirates by 3-0 seasons ago. And a reminder, of course, Pirates looking to defend this trophy for the 3rd time. It's already the 3 wins that they got in a row is already a record, unprecedented. This is nice stuff here from Barrett. Semifinals2 with a cutback. And crucial clearance from Mdunyalo, well positioned.
Good attack from Orlando Pirates for being the instrumental player in that regard, and Semifinals2 forever causing problems.
Very good work from Semifinals2 there as well, and Rele Mofokeng. To get off the mark, Relem Mofokeng, in terms of goals and assists for that matter. Player with 7 last season.
Yeah, you look at Semifinals2 get inside the box. We're expecting Grant to get a little bit closer, but you know the speed that Semifinals2 has. But this is what you want from your right fullback, to add numbers going forward, and that's Semifinals2. That's what he does. Good defensive positioning from Sundowns to able to defend them.
Divine Lunga would be well reminded to approach with caution when he closes down Relem Mofokeng. Such a tricky player, Relem Mofokeng. Just never know what he's going to do when he has the ball at feet. As Talented Bata is not happy with a call from the referee.
And I guess also maybe one would say to, you look at Rele's talent, you look at his ability as well. Maybe in terms of, elevating his game, to increase the numbers of assists, to increase the number of goals, but especially look at how high up the pitch that he plays. And I think as a young player, he will get there, but he's such an important player for the prize going forward.
Ball over the top for Polish to chase. Kipido's done well. He got a little shove in the back as well. Well spotted by Mr. Mdluli. And the referee gives a free kick to Mamelodi Sundowns. It's been well bottled so far. Apollos. Harris, I'm going to make an early change. This is interesting. This is something we've seen from the opposite bench. Miguel Cardoso has never managed shy to make a change in the first half. And wow, big call, Teko Modise.
Big call indeed, especially substituting your creative player, your most favorable player from the fans. But also now you have 2 players that occupy the same position, or 3 players rather, with the Rele, Apollos and Masongani whenever they cut in, because you've got Hoto that plays out wide, you've got Semifinals2 that goes out wide, that occupies those type of positions. So it makes sense from a technical point of view, because then Shandu will play full right back, then Semifinals2 will go out wide, because you want to exploit that speed, you want to exploit that space.
It's an early change there, clearly a tactical one. To be fair to Wadu, Masongani was not in the game.
He was not. And it's a game that now you want to grind results. Maybe you're not looking for creativity, but you're looking for speed, you're looking for aggression. Of course, he's a type of a player, different player rather, but now you have Shandu, now you have Semifinals2, now you can overload on the right-hand side to force now maybe fouls, to force now Sundowns to defend more lopsided on this side where Lunga is.
Pirates. Sundowns. Mandile Shandu, by the way, is making his 3rd appearance of the season. Matthews, who's been amongst the goals and also goal involvements, has really helped himself to 3 assists in all competitions early on so early in the season. 5 minutes to go to the break here. Pirates need to find a way to get at this Mamelodi Sundowns side, because they are looking really comfortable at the moment at the home team.
Yeah, because now it forces now Orlando Pirates to be the one that chases the game. Maybe that's why maybe the early substitution to Coach White, you want to impact the game a little differently, you want to put pressure on the Sundowns defense. You don't want them to get that momentum, you don't want them to get the second goal, because then that puts you under so much pressure.
All the way back to Sipho Chain. Both goalkeepers really haven't had much to do. I mean, Chain beaten just once, but other than that, hasn't really had to make a save. Silas. When he first arrived in the country, I think people, when they looked at his stature, sort of assumed that he would be a target man, but he is a proper bowler. He's got he's a really skillful player, and I think we've seen that in the early part of the season so far.
Yeah, we did, because he didn't really acclimatize to the team a little bit quicker, because we subjected him to be a striker, and with that said, now he was judged based on that. But now that he's starting to see his creativity more, it's getting interesting.
More frustration for Ikram Raiders there. The TLB all over him.
I'm yet to see a player that can actually outmaster the bowlers of Pearson. This is just strong.
And he's only 19. And Raiders has been booked, by the way, for his troubles. I suspect it was more for dissent, actually.
Yeah, it was more for dissent.
Yeah, because there's not much in that foul. But, yeah, I think it's for lip. And for a little bit of petulance, referee Eugene Mdluli laying down the law. Telen Dimbata switching it up, and they're looking for Apollos, and nails a beautiful pass. Azuna Apollos now, chance to take on Mtunyelwa. Away by Keanu Cupido. We were speaking earlier. Let's have a look at this move first. Really, Lunga for company. Excellently done by Divine Lunga, but still Sibilibili going to the back post over the head of Mahupa. Apollos keeps it alive. Chance here, trying to pass it into the net. Did really Mufakeng there? Wonder whether he should have gone for power. Was it Rene or was it Sifenduli?
That's an opportunity that Sifenduli had. Here in this instance, you're thinking now that Lunga's won the ball, but could fight it in from Sibilibili to bring that ball in. Yeah, but the Bolano pass kept the ball in. Look at Nduli there trying to place it. They expected to use lasers with so many bodies in front of you. You want to hit it as hard as you can. Any deflection then it becomes a goal.
Yeah, wasn't the most confident attempt from Sifenduli. Seemed unsure. He was looking for a pass. We're hearing we're going to have a minimum of 3 minutes added on at the end of 45. CMA's header goes wide. Hotto wins possession back for Pirates. Mbalazi. Sifenduli intervenes, gets involved. Takes the ball off the laces of Mbalazi. Opening up here for Pirates, away by Lunga. Well, I'm not sure how that ball ended up going for a corner. Yeah, because he twisted his body. He had to twist his body so much in the air that, but he didn't make the right contact. He's given away a corner late on here. It's an opportunity for Pirates. Haven't been great at defending set pieces themselves, Pirates, but what can they do with one of their own? To spoil Ronan Williams' celebration of his 500th appearance. Wow, what a career he's had. Not many, I can tell you, not many PSL players have reached those numbers, or will reach those numbers.
When he started young at Supersport, since, can you imagine those years ago when he was under the shade of Itikuni? It was such a dominant goalkeeper, and slowly, as we always say, that goalkeepers mature a little later in the career. And the last 3-4 seasons at Sundowns, even before then at Supersport, he was such an important player. And right now he is the captain of the national team. He's such an important player for Mamelodi Sundowns. He helps Mamelodi Sundowns go down from the back. Just an all-round football.
You're not in any hurry to take this throw in. And speaking of his exploits for Bafana, who could forget his debut? And the hammering that he got on that night, picked the net out of the ball out of the net 5 times against Brazil. No shame in that. But since then, he's never looked back. Cemented himself as SA's #1. Went on to be Africa's #1. Apollos. Dooley gets a toe poke onto that one. There's a free kick here for Pirates. They want to take this quickly. Try and see if they can't sneak an equalizer before the break here. Sunshiny skies here. It feels like summer already here in the nation's capital. Right, it's Dion Hotto. It's a long way out, of course. So to float something into the box and get different players to compete. Whoa, that could have gone absolutely anywhere. Disappointing there from Siema. Not to be able to bring that under control.
I think also this first half has actually shown maybe how unstable, or maybe the nerves that are there from Sundowns defense. You look at how they defend. You look at Lunga, instead of clearing the ball, goes to the corner kick. You look at Grant in this instance as well. And I can see that the animation from Coach Cardoso has been claiming, it's been telling the guys to calm down. But you can see there's a little bit of nerves because they understand maybe the importance of winning this game. Play the game, like you rightfully said in the beginning. Don't play the occasion. And these are the players that have been in challenging games before. So this shouldn't be something extra. This should be something that they're used to.
So there we go. That's the whistle from Mr. Eugene Mdluli for half-time. And it's the home side. And will be the happier of the two. They have the lead. And they have controlled the game. Ikram Reyners opened the scoring. And then for the Buccaneers. And gave them an early lead, and they've ran at least for Mamelodi Sundowns, I should say. Graham Reyners opened the scoring. Not a whole lot in terms of clear-cut chances from both sides, certainly not for Pirates in this game. So looking good as they go into the tunnel. Mamelodi Sundowns looking good for a place in the final, but 45 minutes still to play. There's a long way to go. You don't want to go anywhere, and Pirates will draw solace from the fact that they produced a really good second half display in the first leg. Can they repeat it? Stay with us. Half-time at the Lucas Masterpieces Moripe Stadium in MTN 8. First leg semi-finals. Sundowns 1, Orlando Pirates 0. into this game. What do Sundowns do to maintain the position that they've put themselves in for? We are back underway. It's the visitors, the holders, Orlando Pirates, that get us back underway. Of course, they're in the all black, as Mnyamangan, attacking the goals to your left, or the left of your picture. Right, Tico Modise. We know the options on the bench. Neither coach has reached to the bench as yet. What must happen in this second half for Sundowns to hold on and get this one over the line, and for Pirates to get back into it?
I think for Mamelodi Sundowns, you want to be more, control of the ball, bypass that pressing line that Orlando Pirates have with that speed and aggression, and be able to create the second, maybe opportunities to be able to score goals.
Reyners goes down. Referee is not interested. Mr. Mhluli has not been Ikram Reyners' best friend. He's already been booked, by the way, Ikram Reyners, for a bit of dissent. The two teams are scrolling down on the bottom of your screen there. Pirates having made just a solitary change from the midweek game, bringing in Patrick Maswanganyi, but he was pulled on the 39th minute after having not made an impact at all in the game. So a bit of an awkward one, an embarrassing one. No player ever wants to be pulled off in the first half of the game. But coach has got to do what the coach has got to do.
And I guess also maybe the strategy and the philosophy maybe of the coach. Maybe not the philosophy so much, but because you're chasing the game. Now you want to use speed, you want to use those balls over the top, and that's not to do with the game. So now that's why you pushing a little bit up front and trying to have those, two numbers, or maybe overload on the right hand side, but to have more speed going forward. And Tito, that's not his game. Unfortunately, he had to be substituted in the first half.
Fancying header then. It was a free header. Should have put that on target. Wow. But that's quite a chance. Look at this. All the time in the world. All the time guided goalwards.
Yeah, I don't think he had the right connection on the ball. I think maybe with those Mamelodi Sundowns played in front of him, he distracted him, but it was a good ball that he even played inside the box.
Back with live pictures. Divine Lunga plays in Tash Matthews, who's unmarked. Wanted to run at them, but good work from Svilivene to recover possession. Has held strong. To be fair, haven't had a lot to deal with. Here's Atul Salis. He's got Matthews to his right, Reyners to his left. Still Salis going. Brings in Reyners. Could be something here for Mamelodi Sundowns. Oh, off the upright. Wow. That would have certainly sealed the deal, you would think. A second goal here for Mamelodi Sundowns, I think, would put this game beyond the reach of Pirates.
Of course it would, and that's a golden opportunity for Mamelodi Sundowns. Salis again being the center of that attack, being able to carry the ball, realizing there is space enough, and Reyners as well, not putting his ball on the left foot. Unfortunately, they'll be hitting the upright there. But that's a good attack from Mamelodi Sundowns. Salis being an integral part in terms of that attack.
That's Ikram Reyners has hit the ground running in this his second season with Mamelodi Sundowns. 4 goals, 4 appearances. Was rested in midweek with a sight, of course, along with a whole bunch of other players. 7 players that were rested in midweek with an eye on this second leg semi-final. Pirates are unbeaten in second leg matches in this MTN 8. They've played 5, they've won 2, and they've drawn 3. So they're going to lose this. This will be a first in the era of the 2-legged MTN 8 semi-finals. On the other hand, they're coming up against a side who are unbeaten in their last 8 matches at home in all competitions. That's Mamelodi Sundowns. Their last home defeat was against Kaizer Chiefs in the Nedbank Cup semis. Which I think by anyone's standards, that would have gone down as a shock result, given the dominance that Sundowns had over Chiefs going into that game. Very few bookies would have given you money for a Chiefs win, and then of course they went on to claim the whole thing. In seasons past, whenever Pirates have come up against Sundowns and beaten them in MTN before the final, they've gone on to win the whole thing. Mentioned that excellent home record that they have Sundowns across the 8 games that they're unbeaten. They've scored 18 goals, now 19 with the Rainers goals this afternoon. They've only conceded 1. Only were they lethal in attack, but miserly in defense, the Brazilians. Pirates get an early goal here. Really set up a mammoth battle here in the second half. Police was going to need to get into the game a little bit more. We're going to have to get him involved a bit more offside. Viewed when they give each other a round of applause to the Sundowns defense because they executed that offside trap to perfection.
Yeah, I can see a bit from the first half. That's something they're trying to do to make sure that they push through the lines, and they stay disciplined. Nobody breaks that line. That's why you find Roger in the offside position as well. The first half as well, we've seen Mahopa as well on a couple of occasions. But that's a risky play that you play, but if you believe in it and you do it right, you can always get away with it.
Requires real discipline, and you need someone to be shepherding and organizing the defense to ensure that when they push up as a unit. Apollos brings in Mahopa. He's a bit isolated. Waits for support to arrive in the box. Arrives in the form of Ndoli and Smilewe. This is Apollos. Clips it into the box. That's a great ball. Lovely ball from Osman Apollos. Good bit of. This is a good spell here for Orlando Pirates. Rele Mofoke. Talent Mbata. He can hit them from a mile.
He can indeed, and that's a good passage of play from Orlando Pirates. Expecting that in the second half to come back and force probably Sundowns to defend a little more, because they are chasing the game. They feel like they can get through it, and you've seen Mbata striking those balls outside the box. Been given space and time, it will cause problems, but good save as well from Ronan Williams.
Wonderful save, spectacular. Looks look great from the lensmen, the men of those long lenses tomorrow and tomorrow's favors, and various news sites. Corner for the Buccaneers. Good pressure here. It's comfortably cleared. Only as far as Apollos. Galloping down that left-hand side is Lunga. Good challenge from Siema. Helped out by Smilewe. Talent Mbata. That's Talent Mbata. Saw him hit one from range, his type of range. It's just under 10 minutes gone in the second half. Pirates making the brighter start, as they did in the second half of the first leg. Really, it was a cliched going game of 2 halves at that first leg at the Orlando Stadium. First half dominated by Sundowns, and then Pirates came storming back. Something to happen for them, and they need to happen quickly. Jaden Adams picks out Tashrik Matthews. Goes for glory himself when he had Rainers to pick out. He was unmarked, but Went for glory, did Tashreeq Matthews. Mentioned that he's already had 3 assists, but wanted to add to his goal tally, which is at this stage just 1 in his 5 appearances thus far. This being his 6th appearance. It's a great save, actually.
It is a great save indeed. Also, when we were doing the build-up on the pitch, I saw him practicing those type of moves, getting to this area, putting on the ball in his left. So he gets into those type of areas, of course, playing lopsided, he forces you at times to use your weaker foot, and that's an equally great save there being pulled by Chayed, who hasn't been doing much except for that goal that Sundowns scored.
Ayende with a corner. Throwing himself at it, there was that still. Oh, Chain has come and isn't collected. Referee allows play to continue. Tashreeq Matthews, Ayende, Salis actually, and Hotto had that far poster covered, and he allows the ball to flash across for a goal kick.
Those balls inside the box, especially the scrap ones, they're always very dangerous because the ball can fall for anybody. You can see here, falls nicely there for Kofido, but equally good defense from Orlando Pirates to be able to recover that. And Salis as well got involved as well, but he didn't find the right target or didn't find the right connection with the ball.
Sipho Chain. Ayende cuts that one out. Shadish. McQueen opts to go all the way back to his keeper. Nicely done by Keanu Kipido. Twisting and turning one way. This is good work, and draws the foul. Excellently done, and a yellow card to boot for Sihle Nduli.
Finding himself under pressure, realized there was not much option of creating a space, using his skill to be able to bypass the pressing line rather. And Nduli there to take off the team because he realized that Nduli was under the pressing.
Pirates are preparing a change, we are told, and we believe it will be Abdullah Mariko who will be checking in shortly. Olazi looking to carry the ball upfield. It's support from Dion Hotto. Sihle Nduli. This is good running from Sibelebele. Wanted the return ball, but Divine Lunga intervenes. Had a solid game. Adams is tugged back and will happily take that free kick. As the Sundowns players descending on the referee here. See what happens here.
Yes, they're saying that's a pull from Sibelebele, and similar to the earlier incident where Nduli pulled Ndiano. They're claiming that they're actually pushing the referee to give a card.
It's a rotational fouling. As we hit the 60th minute mark of the game, double change coming up for Orlando Pirates. Abdullah Mariko and Tsirofatso Mabasa will soon enter the fray. Offside, it's marginal again. Tight calls, but they're executing this offside trap to perfection now. Sundowns. time that they've caught Pirates offside.
Indeed, and as you also know and understand that whenever you play against those speedy players, you need to find a solution as to how do you stop them. As things stand, Mamelodi Sundowns have perfected that offside line, but it's also a dangerous one to play. You need to be very, very disciplined in that line. You need to make sure that you step up at the right time as a group.
Work from Lunga. Confirmation 60 minutes into it. It's still Ikram Rainer's 17th minute strike that separates the teams. Sundowns still enjoying most of the possession. You wouldn't think it though, having a look at the way players progressed in the second half. The flag stayed down. Oh, now it's gone up against Mamelodi. And like for the Sundowns defense yet again, they are loving it. Right, Mamelodi, that will be his last involvement. And Teoma Mabasa, obviously, the obvious replacement. Sishanduli makes way. And on comes Abdullah Marigo. Let's get Tigo Mudise's thoughts on what Coach Wadu has up his sleeve. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious with Mabasa. What about the interaction of his Malian Marigo?
I think with Marigo, you look at Ndure being on the yellow card. You're looking at also to still being able to bite in that midfield, to put your foot in there to find that balance as well. Maybe playing a little bit of risky with the Ndure being on the yellow card. But with Marigo as well, equally very, very balanced in that midfield to spray those passes. Maybe later on you might see Sipobule, but now you want that stability, you want people to be able to run through, because Mamelodi Sundowns are starting to find those pockets, so you need people that actually be able to put in the work in terms of defense.
Marigo making a second appearance of the season. He's on the bench against Stellenbosch as well. Here's Mahoba. Tough day at the office, didn't have a lot to work with, to be fair to him. But as always, he got through his fair share of defending.
Yeah, he does, but because the approach today is a little bit different, where there's too many long balls, and the beneficiary of those is Sibilibili or Rera wide players. For a striker's point of view, he hasn't been really been serviced.
Sundowns are going to make a change of their own. And we believe it'll be that man. Tapelo Masego is the player that will be introduced. Injection of pace there. Player who has spoken in recent times about his lack of game time and how that concerns him. So eager to impress, and his coach is going to give him an opportunity again to run out. Masego came off the bench in midweek as well. This is Reiners. Matthews. Still Tashik Matthews. Goal kick. Sipochain, restart with the goal kick while the referee allows play to continue, so Sundowns will have to wait before they can make their change. Here we go, it's Tashrik Matthews that will make way. It seems like a straight swap to Melissa.
It is, and with Maseko against Magezi came on, and he really made a difference in terms of finding space and be able being an outlet going forward with a little bit of speed. And of course, maybe Coach Cardoso will be expecting the same performance that Maseko showed during the week, because you do have space. Because you look at on the right side of Polano Pass, there's always an overload with Shandu and Sibilibili, so there's always an opening, and I think maybe Maseko might be able to utilize in that space.
So 21-year-old Tapelo Masego comes on then for yet another appearance off the bench. It's his second appearance of the bench of the season. It's more for attention rests on his shoulders now. They'll be looking to him to try and find the equalizer, the all-important equalizer that they so need desperately. Easy for Ronwen Williams, made it too easy for Ronwen Williams. This will start to apply the pressure. You know, after the recent seasons, the Buccaneers supporters have become used to success and winning trophies. And well, the pressure is on this man. He's taken over from a man who's led Sundowns to a final to two finals, three finals in his last season. So, wow. That's some tough act to follow, Tagomadisi.
It is, and I'm sure when he took over the job, he knew exactly what he's putting himself in. And also, having so many new players being signed, of course, you're expecting a new team that are still trying to find this energy. They're still trying to, you know, the understanding and connection, and also with the coach as well, that has his own philosophy that he's trying to implement to the team. So, we do expecting some little bit of a wobble, but coming to a team that is, you know, expected to win this type of trophies, it is pressure indeed.
Dunyelwa, he's had a good game. Now there he goes on a little bit of a run again, cutting next to cut inside. Wants the return ball here from Masego. Well, again, they're asking Lunga to do a lot of work. They're tracking back to go and fetch that pass. Pressure on Ronwen Williams there from Mabasa. Renas intercepted there by Mbata. Sbilivili takes over. Pickpocketed there. Sema. Now Masego's got pace, and Masego has fouled Mbogazi. Rock solid. That's incredible. He's strong.
Yeah, he uses his body very well. And he's got space, he's got pace as well. Look at the recovery that he did.
For a big man, he really does have pace.
Yeah.
Mariko. That kind of sums up the way the game has gone for Orlando Pirates. Misplaced passes, just haven't had any fluidity at all, haven't got going. They started the second half so well as well, but now Sundowns have regrouped, have collected themselves and are controlling the game again.
That's what you need. We spoke about it earlier on. With all the pressure that Pirates expected to put on, if Sundowns are not in control of the game, are not in control of the ball and the tempo itself, they will find problems, because now you're giving another Pirates the ball, they're countering you, you win the ball, you're giving them forever having the transitional moment, and that's not a team that you want to play in transitional moment with. You need to be in control of the ball, the creative chances, and let them look for the ball.
Sundowns, who lost home and away to Stellies in the semis last year. They're desperately looking to put things right. This is a trophy, as I mentioned earlier, that has always been a bit of a difficult one for them to win. Yes, it's good work here from John Otto. And he stopped in his tracks. Dunyelwa, who in fact it was Mokwena, and there's Dunyelwa now. And then he fist pump. They are loving the job they're doing there, the Sundowns defense.
Yeah, Otto finding himself inside those areas where we know that, especially looking at the time now, good back heel there as well. But Dunyelwa, very, very solid defensive. He continues again with a good performance.
5 corners to none for Orlando Pirates. Offside flag. Siema is in an offside position. We're talking about history. Was this not the trophy that broke your medals duck, the MTN 8 in the competition? Remember there was that whole thing about the competition? Oh, or is it this one?
No, it was not. It was the league, actually.
Just trying to think, was when Pirates picked up the MTN 8, or had you left by that already? When
Yeah,
you had left, okay.
Yeah, it took me years, actually.
I didn't know no listen young.
No. Like that silver medal, it's a yeah, it took me years. I actually have equally more silver medals than I have. I've got equal numbers actually of silver medals and gold. I've lost as much as I won.
There you go. On the upside, it means also you featured in a lot of finals. Again, this game is getting a little bit scrappy now. It really hasn't been the classic that we expected. There's been no fluidity, too much stop-start. And Mabasa has gone down and stayed down. Well, Pirates have lost their second leg of an MTN 8 before and still gone on to qualify for the finals. Did that happen like Stellis?
Stellis, yes.
Lost the second leg 1-0 at home, but still proceeded to the next phase. Sundowns on for their part, they've only failed to win at home in a second leg of a semi-final on 3 occasions, and one of those was a 3-0 defeat to Orlando Pirates 2 seasons ago. And that's a man that I think the fans might be wondering when they're going to get to see him. They call him the Master Chef. It's Sipho Mbule, looking for a run against his former club. We also hope when you see this man, Peter Shalulile, will this be the day he breaks this goal-scoring record, the all-time goal-scoring record? He has been absolutely remarkable, has Peter Shalulile. Now, keeper's going to have to come out. It's going to be going in. Oh, what a mess! They're claiming a handball. It's not gonna. It's an equalizer. A mistake out of a goal out of nothing, literally. Guess who gets it? He can do no wrong at the moment. Come on, Semifinals2. And Pirates have found an equalizer from somewhere. A horrible mix-up in defense between keeper and his defenders. And the ball just dribbled into the net. Zimbabwe Kozas on his feet momentarily. Semifinals2, 3-3. Unbelievable. His second in the MTN 8. And, well, they are going to look at the replays. They were claiming a handball. Doesn't matter, there's no VAR.
There's no VAR indeed. But look at the ball that we played by Apollos. I think that bounce there, Mabasa, I think it fell onto Mabasa there, but that's a little bit of aggression there. It comes in, boom, there is. You can see that Ronald Williams claiming a handball.
Let's see if there was a use of a hand, or maybe he was claiming a use of a hand, but certainly no hand.
There's no handball there from Mabasa. I think it hits the head, and maybe the way that Mabasa played, maybe disrupted or maybe suggested that to Ronald Williams.
Well. Wouldn't you know it? Out of nothing. Game on. It's 1-1. Now, this is the only scoreline that will lead us to a penalty shootout. We still have 15 minutes to play. Lots of football to be played. I suspect now we might see the changes as well coming from Sundowns. Confirmation of the scoreline there. It's been given to Sibelebele. Ronald Williams goes for safety first. And the Buccaneers now will find their voice Somehow the team have found a way back into this game.
Yeah, I guess it goes back to the first leg, where the way the game was of two halves where non-Pirates became a better team in the second half. Fighting spirit, they continue with that as well in the second half as well, with all those changes, playing the type of a different ball, putting pressure on Sundowns defenders, long ball, the speed and aggression, getting the results.
In the history of the MTN 8, since the introduction of the two-legged semi-finals, Orlando Pirates have not lost a second leg semi-final match. They played 5-1-2 and drawn 3. They've just dragged themselves back into this one now. They've got a free kick now. Can they complete the turnaround? Headed away by Reyners, who was helping out in defense. Now, he's in here. Mabasa was pulled back slightly there. It looked like he was pulled back. He's given a corner. It looked as if the defender maybe let go quickly now before the ref could make the call. But wow, now that goal has just suddenly given Pirates a little bit of a spring in their step. Look at Mabasa here. It's a little tap, but he let go quickly, that Grand Kekan.
He did, because he was outpaced there by Mabasa, but good fighting spirit there from Mabasa, making sure that he really chased for that ball.
The holders alive and kicking in the MTN 8, looking to advance to a 4th successive final of this trophy, and they've made their own. They can close within 1 in terms of the all-time wins in MTN 8 if they go all the way and win it again. They'll close within 1 of Kaizer Chiefs. So Palace dispossessed. Is it Reyners at right back now, Tibo Modise? Salis gets a foot in there. How do Sundowns regroup here? Here's Masego. He's got Reyners up there with him now. Slips a pass to Reyners. Excellent from Boaze. He's done a job on the Reyners this afternoon. Even though Reyners is on the score sheet, he's kept him quiet. He loves the one-on-one battles, does Begazeli Boaz. As Otto is pulled back by Masego, he'll be booked. Hasn't been on the field for very long, and now he is into the referee's book. Is Tapelo Masego.
After losing the ball, I think he had so many options to be able to play. After losing the ball, trying to counter press, Otto was just in front. Masego taking that yellow card, realizing that that might turn into a counter-attack, knowing that the Pirates now are putting so much pressure on Sundowns.
Well, that sort of thing is happening to his coach, who is trying to press and get more game time. Mutiba is on his feet there. Musa is also there. Looks like a triple change, and Shadwile doesn't look like he's one of the ones that have been prepared. So we'll have to wait a little bit longer to see him, if we're going to see him at all, given that we only have 12 minutes. Back to Bronwyn Williams. A reminder, if it stays this way, it's straight to penalties. Now, Masego teasing Mariko. Jaden Adams, wide gain from him, looking for the return ball. Lunga Ayende. The block is from Mbata. Dunyela to Reyners. Whips one in. Oh! Now that is such a dangerous ball. It's that one that is played into that corridor of uncertainty. Similar kind of ball that was played in there for the Pirates equalizer.
Indeed, it is a similar ball. Guess who plays that ball? The striker himself, Reyners, playing that ball, that corridor. good defensive work there from Shandu to realize that Jaden was looking at the back.
It's a horror ball to deal with. As a keeper, you don't know whether to come. As a defender, you don't know where to go because it's just kind of between you and the keeper. So here comes that triple change then. Grant Kekana makes way for Mosali Vusa. Jaden Adams is going to make way. Atul Salas is also off. And Lebu Mutiba will replace Salas in attack. And then Aubrey Mudiba will slot into that midfield area. Right, let's get the thoughts then. As a ball comes in, it's a header, a free header. Puts it wide.
Free header from Maseko there. And you're expecting Orlando Pirates to defend a little bit better, but maybe the concern as well is Lebo Matiba's height getting into that box. But look at there, Maseko limping very, very nicely there. Unfortunately, couldn't hit the target. But I guess with the substitution as well from Coach Cardoso, you're chasing the game now. You want to possibly maybe get that second one to be able to kill off the game. And maybe Lebo as well coming on, how we saw as well with Magezi, given that, you know, as an outlet, being the player that actually hold on to the play, hold on to the ball, strong, and you can see how Bogat has been winning that battle. Maybe that's the one that maybe they need to be able to interlink with the players that are coming through.
Mutiba finally playing PSL football, of course, a man who spent many years in France. His last club there, Strasbourg, and now this is he's back in South Africa with the club where it all started for him as a junior. Can he be the hero here this afternoon? Well, the stage is set for him to be the hero. Excitement, as you see, that's why there's a buzz in the crowd, because Sipombole is preparing to come on against his former club. Oh, wouldn't he love to put in a good performance against Sundowns here? But what is the call? It's a free kick to Sundowns. From I think some Sundowns supporters would have had their hearts in their throats there for a moment as the man went down. So taking a bang on the back of the head.
I think it's Shandy there with the ball. You can see, I think he used his arm there, that's why there was
a bit of an elbow there from Lunga. Not even. It's not even. I think there was a foul at all there. Or was it given as a handball against Shandu? 8 minutes to go. Pirates are also going to make, they're about to make that it looks like a double change. Mbule and Snokolo Kwaiba preparing to come on. Well, there's the bosses in charge, the young bosses of these two clubs. Chairman of Mamelodi Sundowns, Klopi Motsepe, sitting there along Diane Sugar Mabunda. Shandu back up and running. Well, here he goes. Here he is. He's not to be denied at the occasion. Peter Shalulile. Shake of the head. I don't know whether that is to indicate that can't go on or no, nothing serious.
If you remember as well, when really China introduced himself to the family at Orlando Pirates fan, it was through those penalties against Sundowns. I'm not expecting him
nope.
to be substituted, especially knowing that it might lead to that.
If he has to make one-handed saves, they will leave him out there. Yeah. All right. So then if you've just walked in or in front of a television, these are the goals. This was in the first half. And it was Ikram Reyners there that opened the scoring. And Sundowns looked in control up to that point. And then this happened. That ball between defenders and keeper. Tried to claim a handball. I don't think Mabasa made any contact with the ball. He tried to. I'll give them that. I'll give Sundowns that.
Yeah, they tried to. And also because maybe that ball that's been played by Apple is dangerous ball just in between the Mabasa fighting forward, and it just bounces off Sibilibili's legs because he finds himself there as a right winger. He finds himself through there because he's such in a goal-scoring form. He believes that any opportunity that he gets inside the box, he may be able to score. And this is a player as well that started as a right fullback in this game, changed positions, play out wide.
Well, still they wait on the sidelines to Mbule. For Mbule, standing by. Come on. And Snopolo Kwaiba will be the attacking option that's introduced as well. Well, there's a striker option, but that makes way. Bring on the creative guy of Sipho Mbule. He has to stand up. These are the kind of games that Pirates signed him for. These are the games where he has to stand up and see why the fans love him and rate him so highly and call him Master Chef, Shevchenko, and all kinds of things. It's not usual when a player arrives at a club and already he's been christened with a nickname. There he is. This one doesn't need a nickname. He's the all-time joint leading goal scorer in the PSL, Peter Shalulile. Well, the stage is set for him to break that record of 129 goals. But he doesn't have a great deal of time to do that. It's just under 4 minutes to go in the game. Dunyela has had an excellent game. Waiba, of course, the other man who has come on. Now, Sundowns going in search of this. Well, surely the next goal wins this tie. Mukwena is Lunga. Great works, Billy fouled. Now, it's been another great game for him.
I mean, he has an outstanding second half, Billy. And whenever Pirates, they need a man to be able to uplift the team this season, this has been the man that works so hard defensively and adding numbers going to attack, and also being able to chip in there with important goals that kept Orlando Pirates alive.
Sides content to go to penalties? I doubt it. No one wants to leave it to that lottery. Kwaiba couldn't connect. Marigo goes wide to Sibelebele. Possibilities here for Pirates now. And they snatch it at the death. Now Sibelebele overruns it and loses out to Divine Lunga. Another one who's had a solid game. In fact, the two fullbacks for Mamelodi Sundowns have been brilliant. Here he is, Sipho Mbule. What's the ball? Keanu Cupido. Skanwalia Mutiba. Guess who does the cover? The sweeping at the back is Mboraz.
That's another one also that had an exceptional game defensively there for Orlando Pirates.
Leading by example, the PSL's youngest captain. It's 19-year-old Begezeli Mboraz. Another solid shift he's putting in. As I said, he's a no-nonsense kind of captain. Gets on with it. Doesn't shout at other players. Leads by example. Now Bit of aggro, keeping in. It's been a game played in good spirit for the most part. So the referee is just going to nip it in the bud and call both of them to order. All's good. Now, again. Floated in. Referee saw something he didn't like there. Mr. Eugene Mdluli, who I've got to say, for the most part, has had a good game. Chukwumdisa, would you agree?
Yeah, in most part he did, but especially in the first half, there's a couple of calls that were there. I think he could have controlled the game a little more better, especially with those tackles. We could have issued cards a little bit earlier on, but in the second half, the game has calmed down. The game is flowing. That's what you want to see, and also he's controlling that as well as from the players. The emotions as well have come down a bit.
Pirates looking to reach the final of the MTN 8 for the 5th time in 6 seasons. They have owned this competition in recent times of the Buccaneers. Looked for all money like they were heading out. And then they found a way, and that's what their good teams do. You find a way. Free kick for the challenge on Sipombule.
That's what he does and what he brings to the Pirates, that calmness in that midfield, that belief that he can actually play within those pockets. And Mamelodi know how dangerous he is.
Keanu Kipiro gets his head onto that one. Otto happy to settle for the corner. Into stoppage time, a 2nd minute of stoppage time now. Minimum 6 minutes. It's a long, long time. Otto. It's up for grabs now. Pirates impact there, also pushed men into that box now. Otto. Headed away by Mutiba, I think it was. Hit on the volley by Smidivi. Wouldn't that be a story? Wouldn't that be a story? How to make yourself a fan favorite within the first month of joining a club. That's what Sibilibili is in the process of doing. Levo Muti. To apply pressure on Sipochain. Dunyelo underneath it. Mbule comes away with the ball. Now, can they get the ball into the box? They've got men in there. Show too much of it, I fancy there. And, it's kept in play by Sbilibe. Free kick goes against Peter Shalulile. Oh, it's a throw-in, actually. Pardon. Hasn't gotten into the game yet, Peter Shalulile. But then again, he doesn't need that many touches to make an impact. Scored the 2nd goal in Sundowns 2-0 win against Makesi to bring up the 129 PSL goals, or no, goals in the PSL competitions. Look at Mbule go. Well, he's crowded out. As Mudiba leaves the ball behind. Kwaiba. He's got Sibelebele to his right. It's Pirates that are asking all the questions late on here. Throw in. No foul given for the challenge on Lunga. Heavy contact there. Not sure, not the call. So just a heavy first touch. Mbogazi. Mistake by Otto. Then a mistake, a rare mistake by Mbogazi.
I think it's his first mistakes of the game.
Turns out he's human. Just this man machine that we are getting to know. Flicked on by Kwaiba into the last 2 minutes. And if Sundowns do go on to lose this match, they will be bitterly disappointed. They had it under control for so long, and the goal they conceded as well will haunt them.
Well, indeed. I think if they had to lose this game, they'll look at the both legs as well, where they had so much control of the game. They scored first, and they allowed Pirates to come back into the game.
It's the third time that these two sides are meeting in a two-legged MTN 8 semi-final. The last being 22-23, when Pirates progressed from both matches. Here they are. They put themselves in a position to do that again. Abdullah Mariku. The money that misplaced the pass, but he gets away with it. Spilewele. Baba says Kwaiba easily dispossessed there by taken away from him by Ayende. Tewo Mukwena looking for Masego and finding him. Great pass. Now Masego looking to take on Mbogazi. Stanwell, yeah, Masego! Great challenge there from Seba to get it away. Stanwell there, Masego. That's what the coach wants from a winger. Take on the fullback.
You want him to do that more often, and I think he does have capabilities and speed, but yet again, he doesn't do that often, and you need that from a winger, especially with his speed.
This is going to run behind for a goal kick. And now we are into, well, the 6 minutes is almost up. It looks as if it will be penalties to settle this one. Miguel Cardoso, now what is going through his mind? I suppose we're at that stage now when you've got to think about who's going to take your penalties.
I'm sure you'd have practiced that at the training ground. You need to look at all the options and possibilities, and here we are in penalty shootout. You need to have those players on the pitch.
There you go. All over. 180 minutes of football could not separate these two great sides, and therefore they'll have to do it with kicks from 12 yards out to decide who of these two sides will be the first into the final of the MTN 8 for 2025. Then there are 7 now. This is the third time. There are 7 draws in this competition. 2 games have been decided on penalties, and Pirates advanced on both occasions. So if history is anything to go by, the odds are stacked heavily in favor of Orlando Pirates. But this game is not played in history. It's about the here and now. Who's going to put their hand up? Who's going to take the responsibility of these kicks? Were you always amongst the first to put their hands up, Diego Modisa?
Yes, indeed. I've always been the player that always wanted to take penalties, and even during the game, we always have the top of the list as to then if the first penalty comes up, who's going to take it, and the second one, always the third option as well. And I remember as well when I moved to Cape Town City playing Mamelodi Sundowns in the second leg semi-final of this competition, we came here and we won via penalties against Mamelodi Sundowns, and we went on as Cape Town City to actually win it. So Mamelodi Sundowns really on penalties, they never really that great. But yet again, maybe the having Ronald Williams as well, knowing that his presence, and also from another Pirates point of view, you can also say the same thing about China.
Well, yeah, it's a decision time now for players and coaches. Who will take on this responsibility then? It comes down to this. It ended 1-1 after 90 minutes. Goals from Ikram Reines and Kamelo Sibilewe. Pirates, who have got the most impressive record in this competition. They've only lost 2 of their last 19 matches in the MTN 8. Won 13 and drew 4. And the second of those defeats, though, did not even stop them from advancing. Lost.
So now, Titi, you would reckon now it is the time now for goalkeeper coaches now to shine, because then you would have done your homework as to then knowing as to then opposition, as to then who will normally kick, and if they do kick, what type of side they're going to, the type of work that you as a goalkeeper coach that you have done with the goalkeepers as well. These are the moments. As much as your goalkeeper coaches and unsung heroes never really we speak about, but these moments are really for the Nets. You see in so many games when the goalkeepers make the save, they always run to the goalkeeper coach because of the type of work that they put in closed doors.
Is that a calm Sophie Motsepe, or is that a Sophie Motsepe pretending to be calm?
He's always a calm chairman.
Nail-biting. Was that Malusi Kigaba, Member of Parliament? Decked out in his Pirates colours? He doesn't need to wear the colours. Everyone knows where his loyalties are. Poor McCoy. So we await then. Morgan Gould is looking on. He's been involved in many battles as well. Over MTN 8. His days with Kaiser Chiefs. There it is. The TLB. There's Alfie took over there. One of our Super Sport colleagues also looking on. Acting like Mayor of Atteridgeville. This is his hometown.
It is his hometown.
All right, then. So then the two captains will meet with the officials to decide who takes the first one and which end they will take the penalties. Morazi looking unfazed, calm as ever. Ronan Williams out. From a goalkeeping point of view, I think goalkeepers, from a goalkeeper's point of view, you can only be a hero in a penalty shootout. Never heard a goalkeeper being blamed for a loss on penalties. So there you go. Looks like Ronan Williams has won the toss. Couldn't figure out though who were able to make out what choice he made.
Maybe he wants to be the first one
to face. Alright, Sipa Chain has been a hero before against the same Sundowns. Can he do it again, or will this be some kind of a sweet revenge for Mamelodi Sundowns? Williams. Yeah, asking for some inspiration from above. I would imagine Sipho Mbule will be amongst the takers, having come off the bench. Here comes goalkeepers seemingly are ready. Well, Ronan Williams is ready. He's been ready for a while. It's just in determining the order of your takers. Once you've got your five, and determining the kind of order you go in, you leave that to the players, or does the coach make the determination once you've got the five that will take?
You do have coaches that will go down to 8 to 9 players.
Okay, yeah.
Have that order.
You may need to.
Yeah, you may need to, and then from there on, sometimes it's about the players, depending on how they feel. But if you're the team that coaches will say you players must choose themselves, the problem is when it comes to sudden death, those ones were not comfortable. You need to rely on them now to be the one that comes in and kicks. So it becomes a little bit tricky. So as a coach, if I'm a coach, I'll choose those 5 players and also choose maybe 3 or more that are optional. Yeah, the order.
Right. Looks as if Ronan Williams will face the first penalty. As the Pirates players make their way to the center line, to the center spot where they will watch from. Snapolo Kwaiba hasn't had much of an involvement, but it looks as if he'll be amongst the takers. And of course, you want your strikers to be taking penalties. And this is the huddle of players for Mamelodi Sundowns who will take on the responsibility. Abdul Salam Wadu looking to make it to a cup final at the first time of asking. And boy, it would be something of a smash and grab. They would have done it the hard way. I mean, over 2 legs. There's been nothing to separate these two sides over the 2 legs. And that's why we find ourselves here. where it will be a penalty shootout to settle it. They've drawn 1-1 before in a second leg of MTN clash, Pirates and Sundowns in 2011 and 2012. After it ended 1-1 in that one. Sundowns went on to win it on penalties on that occasion. Ronan Williams places the ball. He's going to have to, we know what he's also capable of, his heroics for Bafana and penalty shootouts. He's going to have to bring out all his experience here and perform heroics, says his coach, Kennedy Mwene. I'm sure they've studied the takers. Now it's about who will hold their nerve. Up steps the veteran of this Pirate side, senior team member Dion Hotto, to take the first one. This to give the early advantage to Orlando Pirates. Down the middle as Ronan Williams dives out the way. 1-0 to the Buccaneers.
I guess it's always the tricky one, right, when you want to go downstream, because then you have to wait at least for the goalkeeper to move a little bit. But with Hotto, with that power as well, was striking this.
He kept his eye on the ball, and it looks like he'd already made up his mind. I'm smashing it down the middle. If he saves it, well, so be it. That's what you need. You need to be decisive. And don't be dithering once you get to the ball. You should know what you're going to do with it. This man, we know what he is, how he strikes a football. Seems calm enough, juggling it. Tewa Mukwena to make it 1-0. There's a referee calling on Sipho Chain to stand on his line. Gamesmanship here from Sipho Chain. There's the referee warning him. He's warning him that he's going to caution him. She can still be sent off even in a penalty shootout. Sent off at the end of the game, after the game has already ended. But it's taking a while. He's making him wait. And of course, you hope you're getting the player to also second guess himself about which way to go. Oh, the save from Chain! The long wait worked. Making him wait has worked. And it's early advantage to Orlando Pirates, Sipho Chain. And we're about to see him pull off the heroics that he did a few seasons ago, a couple of seasons back, when they wanted to beat Sundowns in the final.
A great save there from Sipho. I think also the run-up as well from Debs as well. Didn't allow him to have so much power, but Sipho cast the right way, made that save as well.
It had power, but I think it was close to Sipho.
Yeah, it was too close to Sipho, yeah.
You see, he didn't even have to stretch for it. Advantage Orlando Pirates. Stepping up to maintain that advantage. Looks like Abdullah Mariko. One of the new arrivals here. One of many new arrivals at Orlando Pirates. Being given the responsibility. Teeing it up. Mariko doesn't have many appearances in the Pirates shirt. We just want to get this into the net, get it done and walk away. This to keep Pirates ahead. Abdullah Mariko stutters, and he still gets enough power onto it. High risk when you do that sort of stop-start thing. And if manages to get enough power and put it beyond Ronan Williams, 2-0. Orlando Pirates.
It does indeed. When you do a stop-start and you look at it, you realize that the goalkeeper doesn't move. You normally try to change sides because then it doesn't work. But with enough power and height as well, that really allowed him to be able to score. Even though Ronan Williams went to the right side, but the power becomes an important. Yeah, they did touch, and that power becomes an important thing, because even if the goalkeeper goes to the right direction, if you have enough power, you're able to score.
Well, the man from Mali will be mighty relieved to have seen that go into the net, having seen Ron Williams get fingers onto it, fingertips. Allende, he needs to score now. Otherwise, really, the pressure is on. Just to make it 2-1. Marcelo Allende. Oh, and it's another save! A brilliant save from Sipho. Oh! Big time advantage on under Pirates now. 2-0. Sundowns yet to convert. By far, 2 brilliant saves from Sipho. He's at it again.
And with this one, he had to stretch with his left. You can see he really, really had to stretch. That's a good save there from Sipho.
Excellent save. There was power behind it, but Sipho gets the right way and made solid contact with it. Pirates edging closer and closer to a 4th successive MTN 8 final. Their 5th in 6 years, it would be. Yep. Oh, Sipho Mbule gets it past Ronwen Williams, so casual. And the keeper gets a touch, but not enough to keep it out. 3-0. Sundowns yet to convert from the spot. Lebo Mutiba is stepping up as the chef cooks.
Yeah, and you look at the 2 penalties where the previous Orlando Pirates player, you can see there is a little bit of a touch there from Ronald Williams, but he's unable to make a save. He goes to the right side, but because of the enough power from Orlando Pirates players, that also allows them to go to score those goals.
Orlando Pirates are almost there. Must score Mutiba. It is 3-0. Must score, otherwise, you know what it means. Lebo Mutiba. Long run up, puts it beyond Sipho. And finally, Sundowns are on the board. 3-1.
Now the pressure now goes down now to Ronald Williams now to be able to try and bring back Sundowns into the game by actually making those type of saves. But also saw advantages as well from Orlando Pirates side. So you can see China as well went to the right side, but Lewy as well on the ground, enough power, decision and precision that helped him as well to just put Sundowns back into the game.
Yep. It's giving them a glimmer of hope. It's giving them a glimmer of hope, but now Ronald Williams needs to produce some heroics. He's trying to psych out Mabasa. Cool customer is Teofatso Mabasa. Teofatso Mabasa. This to send Orlando Pirates into a 4th successive MTN 8 final. Teofatso Mabasa against Ronwen Williams. A place in the final of the MTN 8. At stake. Mabasa, long wait. Now sends Ronwen Williams a long way. They've done it again. They've done it again. Orlando Pirates have come here and inflicted the pain. They've done it. Mabasa applies the finishing touch. Orlando Pirates march into yet another MTN 8 final. 4th in a row, 5th in 6 years, a chance to close into within 1 of Kaizer Chiefs as the all-time winners of this trophy. Abdel Salam Wadu aired his first attempt. He has taken Pirates into a final. And boy, he did it the hard way.
Indeed, he did it the hard way. You can see the relief as well from the coach as well, from the coaching staff as well, knowing that they did it the hard way. This man right here made all the difference, Sipho Shine, in making those saves, those important saves at the beginning of those penalties. I think that also just set Mamelodi Sundowns, maybe give them a little bit of instability, a little bit of fear, a little bit of nervousness as well. But Orlando Pirates, previously against Mamelodi Sundowns in the penalties, Sipho Shine became the hero. Yet again today, he is that kind of a person.
Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns have been unchained. Sipho Shine, 2 big saves that he's made in that, 3 saves, I beg your pardon, that he made in that shootout. Takes it in his stride, a wry smile, but he's a hero once again.
Yes, indeed.
Well, there were some stunning performances in normal time, but Well, Miguel Cardoso, disappointment. He was hoping to lead Sundowns to yet another final. Not to be. Bitter disappointment. They had the game under control for long periods, and then conceded a free goal. And they're out of the MTN 8. This trophy remains Sundowns' bogey trophy.
It does indeed, and it's always Orlando Pirates that gets into that way for Mamelodi Sundowns to go through. And when it comes to penalty shootout, of course it becomes a gamble, but yet again, you want to make sure that you kill off the game. They were in control. There were moments as well that could have actually scored the second goal, but perfect performance from Orlando Pirates second half when they came on a different team, just like they did as well at Orlando Stadium. There's something about Orlando Pirates' second performance as well. Second half performance, rather.